Hello, gorgeous moon children. Welcome to your April 2019 reading. The more I dig into April and the more I sit with its energy and feel through what it is bringing us, the more I think this month is so mysterious. It has an air of really ethereal mystery to it that I think you guys will be able to roll with. However, with your cardinal energy, I think you'll also be a little bit like, can we just get working? Can we just get digging into this energy? Of course, for you guys, Aries season is always an interesting point in the year because there is a get up and go energy for you, 10th house energy for you of your destiny in the world and the work you do in the world and how you move through the world. There's really that firing up. And of course, we have a new moon in Aries around the 4th or the 5th of the month. We also have a full moon in Libra, which is your 4th house, your secretive house, closing out a month-long moon cycle that was started with a 0-degree full moon in Libra and ending the 29-degree full moon in Libra. We're really having a bookend moon experience. 10 of Pentacles, speaking of legacy and speaking of family and legacy and identity. 10 of Pentacles is coming out. So we have a lot of energy for you that is based in cardinal signs, actually, this month, along with you. But the note that came up for Cancer when I sat down to feel through your energy was this. There is going to be an illusion of almost going backwards or no movement whatsoever, but really what you are doing is you are making vast progress. Really what you are doing is you are building on something extremely important for you. 7 of Pentacles. So there is that illusion of going backward, right? And it's funny that I say that because we don't have Mercury retrograde going on anymore, right? Mercury is direct and will be moving forward out and through post-shadow and direct and into new territory as April progresses. So the planet of communication is not doing that. But we do have outer planets going retrograde. And this happens every year for several months. Outer planets retrograde for a long time, and they do a big chunk of the year. 3 of Swords. Wow. Okay. We're doing some internal work here this month. And that's what I'm saying. There's actually a lot of big progress on this, and there's a lot of remolding our destiny. So like every sign is kind of going through this reassessment of what it really means to be in this body, in this world, in this planet. And for you, I think you're reassessing what you've held, what pains you've held, where you've held on to the past. Justice. There's that Libra full moon for you. Very interesting. There's some clarity coming through from a deep dive that we're going to be having, Cancer. That's what I'm seeing here. But we have these outer planets going retrograde. So we have Jupiter going retrograde on April 10th in the sign of Sagittarius. And that's a lot to do with your physical body and how you're taking care of yourself and slowing down to check in with that. And then we also have Saturn and Pluto going retrograde in Capricorn, your opposite sign, that relational sign, right? So there's some power going on there. And those retrogrades start on, Pluto goes retrograde on the 24th, and Saturn goes retrograde on the 29th. And those last until October and September each. So the next few months, and as we go through your birthday season and as we work through this stuff, we are going to be looking at how you relate and where you carry that energy. And the thing that's beautiful about these retrogrades is they're not so much about drama, they're not so much about pulling things away as much as they just give us a breath to feel through some things underneath the surface, way in the background of everything else that's going on in your life. And we're getting used to these transits during April. The other thing that I want to note here too at the beginning of this month, right before the new moon in Aries, is that we have the North Node, which is in Cancer, and you guys are working through some stuff. It is when you have the North Node in Cancer, it is a big time. Ooh, Lovers and Ace of Pentacles. Okay, I like that a lot. It is a big time of internal work. The spotlight's kind of on you, and you are very able to see yourself clearly, and therefore you're able to make changes in the way you move through the world in ways that only happen when the North Node is in your sign. Now, the North Node is doing a perfect opposition with Pluto in Capricorn in the South Node. So Pluto and the South Node are conjunct with an opposition to your North Node there. And that's that transformative energy. Like, how are we transforming our relational energy? How are we transforming the way we give to others? 10 of Wands and the Moon. Okay. As you can see, it's kind of like a series of waves that come through for you all as you work through this month. It's kind of like you dive deep, you come out, you get clarity, you move on stuff, you dive deep, you come out, you get clarity on stuff. And I realize that this is kind of a life pattern. We all need to do this kind of consistently in order to feel a sense of balance. But this month it feels like there's almost an acknowledgement and a release process going on with you, where it's like acknowledge, release, acknowledge, release, acknowledge, release. So we start off the month, and I think this is a really important standard setting card, because the 10 of Pentacles is the long range vision. Whenever I see this card, I'm always like, I'm really happy for you. Also, this is the type of energy that does not get built in a month or a week or even 1 year, honestly. The thing with 10 of Pentacles energy, if it's activated, is that you're looking at a long range cycle of something that you are building toward. And what you are building toward is very clearly this kind of legacy. Now, for each of you, that's going to look different. For some of you, this is about building that relationship. For some of you, this is about building that business. For some of you, it's a combination of all these things. Everybody's legacy is their own unique creation and crafting, and everybody's destiny is their own creation. So this can look very different for everybody. However, I can almost guarantee you that you see this card and I tell you this is that big legacy you want to have. I can almost guarantee you that most of you can sit down and you can tell me at least a couple aspects of what that looks like, what you're wanting to manifest in the next 5 years. Even if it's not like a 5-year plan that's been mapped out, you can probably tell me things about it. Having a loving partner who's supportive and consistent, having a business that's reached this level of audience or is in this type of space, being on this fitness journey or creating that dream home, buying the land and building an off-grid house. I don't know. There's so many ways this can look, right? But what this is telling me is this month you are on this track. So don't forget that. Anything else that comes up, anything else that happens, this is a card to reinstill faith in you that there is a process at work here. And actually, if you're willing to ride through kind of some of these deeper things we're about to talk about, you are more on track to this than you think. Right? Because here's the thing. When you look at these next two cards, they don't look like the biggest party that you've ever been to, right? There's an assessment going on here, though. I think that's really important for the Cancer family, and here's what's going on. This is looking back over, right? The 7 of Pentacles, I always say, this guy is a farmer. He's been working really hard at his garden or his crop for a long time. And he's at this point where he's harvesting. And he's realizing that not everything that he planted he wants to harvest, right? Not everything he's been working at he wants to take with him into the next. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe the crop just kind of failed or was weak. And he's having to take a moment here and just stop. Just stop moving, stop working, stop trying to make things happen, and say, what do I really want to take with me into this? What do I really want to take with me? Because there's a big question here. And part of that big question is this 3 of Swords energy. The 3 of Swords, it's interesting because sure, that can have to do with finding out information and feeling hurt about it and kind of having that shock factor. But a lot of times what I notice with 3 of Swords, it's an emotive feeling, even though it's a Swords energy, which is about mental stimuli, right? But like our thoughts create emotions a lot of times, and we can feed that loop of emotion and thought for a long time. And that's the pain of 3 of Swords, is that we feed negative thinking. But it's also about those scenarios that we've had in life where things did not feel good. You know what it felt like when you were working in a job where you were disrespected a lot and you had to wake up every day and go to that job. It feels like 3 of Swords. Or when you're dating somebody, you realize they really don't prioritize you. Even if they're a nice person, even if you can look at them and say they're not doing anything evil to me, they don't make the time for you and you feel like an afterthought. That's what 3 of Swords feels like, right? And one of the things that's going on with you guys, because you are such loyal, heart-based people, is that you are being asked, what do you want to take with you? Do you really want to harvest that same crop? You know you don't, right? You know that you're headed for this. So this doesn't always have to be about, an immediate breakup or an immediate shift. What it is about is, where are you investing your energy? And is anything that you're investing in bringing up feelings of Three of Swords? This can just be like haunting phantom memories of that energy as well. And you being very good at catching it and noticing it. And because that's the thing, the next two cards, they're air signs, of course, but also these two cards, Justice and the Lovers. These two cards are about balance, good communication, and fairness. They're about clarity of vision as well. So like, we just came through a time, so the beginning of this month with that opposition with your North Node opposing Pluto, perfect aspect, you go here. It might take you down here. It might take you into this deeper, darker stew. However, if you're willing to kind of ride that wave, right, you get the clarity, you get the answers, you get the knowing back again. And you get a sense of balance and clarity again. You come out of the fog into some knowing and into greater balance. And that is the thing, is it's like, that the three feels like this imbalanced, kind of wonky, uncomfortable feeling. Whereas Justice and the Lovers is about ease and clarity. They are associated with air signs. They are associated with communication and getting answers and getting information and getting the knowing that you need to have, that you've been craving for a while. So I kind of see you getting, as we get to the middle of the month, as we start heading into Taurus season, as we start heading into an energy that's good for you, you start to see this more clearly. You start to be able to act on your situations with a lot more knowing and a lot more grace, especially if you're just taking the time to be quiet and do that assessment. You also have an Ace of Pentacles in the mix here, my friends, which means that you are opening a new door when it comes to how you value yourself. And that can look like actual manifestations of good material and being imbued with good new material, right? So a little more money, better job, new housing. Here are practical steps that can be taken. So the original note I had for you was that you may feel like you're going backwards and like you're not moving at all and like things are being stripped from you, but actually you're moving forward. And the Ace of Pentacles here is going to be a nice reminder of that. That there is a new opening for you, that there is new energy moving and rolling with you. Now here's the thing. With you all, this is like our pep talk that we have often, and it is part of your journey and it is part of how you learn through this world. You have to release some weight that you are holding on your shoulders, right? Because while you're getting these beautiful invitations to the next table, to the next experience, you're getting the invitations there, it's happening, this beautiful communicative moving energy is happening. You can only really show up to that table if you're not carrying the table from your last experiences with you into somebody's house, into your next life. And that's where the Ten of Wands comes in. So you have a couple tens in this reading. You have one about building and you have one about carrying. And there's a big difference between building and carrying, right? This guy's not getting very far because he's determined to do this on his own and to carry it all with him. Now, if he could just put down this bundle of sticks and pick up the sticks that he really wants to take with him, he could throw those 2 or 3 over his shoulder and be from point A to point B in no time at all. And the Ten of Wands is also a closeout of an energetic cycle. It is also like you're allowed to just let this go now. Like, you do not have to keep carrying this. I know you feel like there's questions maybe that you need answered, or like you need to go back there, or you're being invited to go forward. But this Ten of Wands is in a deep position because he's next to the moon, which is your card. You guys are the moon and you are the moon children. You understand this energy in a way that no other sign can. The mystery of the moonlit night, the intuitive knowing. And I think the thing is that I can give you this reading and show you the cards and show you the assessment and show you the building and show you where you need to go. But you already know exactly what this is. And you know that like you are ready to release, and you know you are ready to open up to the next thing. And now it's just a matter of choosing that. Taking a deep breath and choosing it, and choosing to move forward into it. And the thing with the moon, and as you know, it's easy to get caught up in the seductiveness of nostalgia and memory and feeling. But all of this reading is telling me that for you, you've got to use this moon power that you have to envision the future, to envision the legacy, and to be open to the level of surprise that can come from this kind of energy as well. Because once again, this month has an enigmatic quality to it. It has that sense that it only makes sense as we look back. It has this sense that there are little plot twists all around, but they're very small and they're very subtle. And we think we know what the answer is on April 10th, and by April 25th, something else has morphed and transformed and come. And so your work this month, my dearest friends, is to, yes, sit with the discomfort when it comes up, recognize it, and realize you don't want to harvest that crop. In fact, you have other crops that you would like to be harvesting, and to redirect your energy toward those crops, and also to be really open to the unimaginable horizon ahead. I hope this has been so helpful for you guys. I'm really excited for you all. Like, I don't want to downplay the fact that you got Justice, the Lovers, and the Ace of Pentacles in this reading. That's huge. As long as you're open to it, that energy is coming your way. And as long as you're okay with these moments, these solid pauses where you really look at what you may still be trying to feed, the doorways are opening hugely for you. I'm so excited. You can work with me. I'm booking sessions into the summer or the winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. So around your birthday season, you may want to get a reading a little bit after your birthday, it might be. But I will leave my website, which is SARAHTAROT.com. I'd love to work with you. You can also find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. I would love to see you there. We do a lot of energy updates as we move through all these transits and do all of that. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She is such a lovely, Tiffany is such a lovely person. She always has new stuff in her store. She makes it all herself, all hand, all ethically sourced. She's the only one who runs that show. So she's giving you 15% off. Go check out what she has in store for you over there. I'll leave all the goodies for the people that I love and love to work with below, so go check that out, and I will see you guys very soon for more moon magics and more monthly readings, and I'm sending you all my love.